Okay, I am back. Forgot to turn the sound off for whatever reason. But it doesn't look like the stream stopped. Can anyone confirm in the chat for me that the stream did not stop? So, we'll go ahead and fix the camera real quick. Alright, everybody. We have sorted out all of our technical issues, and we are now ready to fire up round 2 of Friday Night Magic from Lost Legion Games and Comics in beautiful downtown South Charleston, West Virginia. My name, as always, is Zach Viglianco. I'm commentating by myself tonight, as everyone is either tied up with holiday plans or currently playing out in FNM tonight. 24 players tonight, down a little bit from weeks past, but obviously you can expect that given the holiday season here in the U.S. So let's talk about who we've got for you tonight. It is round 2. Both of these 5 rounds of Swiss tonight, followed by a cut to top 8. Both of these players are 0-1. But more importantly, for those of you who are stream regulars and for those of you who have been following us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic, you'll know that for the last week we've been running a promotion called Max Turner Needs a Deck. We've allowed the stream faithful to decide what deck Max plays at FNM tonight. The winner, over the course of we had a couple polls and posts over the course of the week, and the definitive winner out of all of that was a Burn at the Stake combo. So Max, 0-1, he lost round 1 2-1 to Brett Rose, who another stream regular, and his Esper Tokens list. Max said he just had slightly too fast a clock in the 2 games he lost. And he's playing against Evan Hudnall. Evan hasn't been here in a while. I'm not sure exactly what he's playing, but I'm going to say it's Black-White Exalted until otherwise told. Alright. So, we'll have Max's deck list. I'll post a link to it here in the chat if I can get to it. But, so basically this is how his deck works. It isn't in colors. It plays token generators like Krinko's Command, Thatcher's Revolt, and a singleton copy of Goblin Rally. It plays Goblin Electromancer to speed up that clock, as we see Evan get in for 3 there with his double Exalted Tormented Soul. So like I said, it uses Electromancer to speed things up, uses Gutter Snipe as an alternate win condition, and then it plays Burn at the Stake to try and kill. And it is very fun as a combo deck. He has access to Past in Flames. He has access to the rituals, Infernal Plunge, and Battle Hymn. And so basically he uses a lot of token generators to generate a lot of Virtual Storm, and then loops all of his, as we see Sublime Archangel come down, presenting quite a clock here. So he's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 Exalted triggers, so that should drop Max down to 12. No, down to 11. I stand corrected. But Max can just win here with the Burn at the Stake. So he's going to play another Electromancer. And Burn at the Stake. And he's just going to kill him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 18 damage to Evan. That is enough. So there you go, guys. You picked that deck, and you saw it in action. Turn 5, Max Turner burns at the stake his opponent. That was this, not a very interactive game in the sense that both decks don't really have a lot of control elements. Not really, there's not a lot of removal happening, I should say. But Evan had quite a clock there with his Sublime Archangel and the unblockable Tormented Soul. So seems pretty good. 2 Electromancers make your Burn at the Stake. Only costs 3. Plus you get 2 damage from the... you get 4 damage off of 2 Gutter Snipe triggers. So that was, I guess, a total of 22 damage off that one Burn at the Stake. Which, as the kids say, pretty good. So I'm going to grab the link here to the deck list that Maxx is playing. I think the sideboard is different, but the main deck should be correct. So I'll post that now. And as always, Maxx's deck list will be available on the Facebook page in our recap post. Every week after FNM, I do a recap of everything we talk about on the stream, so deck lists will go up when I have them. So I know from Maxx's sideboard, as he put it together pretty roughshod right before the event, he's playing 4 Witchbane Orbs, basically because there's a couple Curses decks that have been floating around the last few weeks, and Maxx just specifically said he refused to lose to that deck this week. He's playing 4 Dispels, which are pretty important in the Control Mirror, as obviously Maxx has struggles against counter spells. And then I can't really remember what the other cards were. I think he's playing a couple Pithing Needles, things of that nature. But pretty interesting things so far on the stream. Obviously, in round 1, we saw Zach Viglianco pilot his Primal Surge Door to Nothingness deck. Ended up losing that one, but we did see some interesting interactions from cards we don't normally see on the stream coverage. And then here in the very first game of round 2, Maxx Turner pulls off the old turn 5 win with Burn at the Stake, the namesake of his deck. I realize I'd forgotten to start the clock. So there is a turn 1 Duty Bound Dead getting in from Evan. Let's see what Maxx has on 2. He can go Electromancer or Krenko's Command here, or a Wild Guess. He has 1 copy of Wild Guess, which looks like that's what he's lining up. Wild Guess discarding a Past in Flames is going to draw him 2 cards. Since Maxx deck does play Past in Flames, he's playing 4 copies of Faithless Looting, and I think 1 Wild Guess, which the drawback on those not nearly as important, because you do have the ability to recurse items out of your graveyard. So a lot slower start from Evan's Black-White Exalted deck this game, likely because he doesn't have access to white mana. But no turn 3 play from Maxx, so he might be short on business as well. I see a Thatcher's Revolt in Maxx's hand. Oh, how I've forgotten this. I can't believe I haven't pointed this out. Maxx is playing 2 copies of Epic Experiment. That's another way that he can combo. Yeah, Maxx is playing 2 copies of Is It Staticaster in his sideboard as well. So the Staticaster is going to wreak virtual havoc on Evan's board state, as most of his creatures are 1 base, except for the big boys like Sublime Archangel. Tap Steam Vents, Staticaster, your Exalted guy, whose name I cannot remember. And then a Krenko's Command, firing up 2 Goblin tokens, and thanks to Maxx, he brought all the appropriate tokens with him tonight. So there will be no confusion. Okay, so we're going to murder the Staticaster, which is a great play. Obviously, well, it's a great play in the sense that Evan would just lose otherwise. But gets in for 1 with the Duty Bound. And Maxx untaps. Now with 5 mana, I see a Thatcher's Revolt, a couple of lands, and I cannot make out what the other cards in his hand are. So like I said, he does have the ability to chain rituals and then cast a big Epic Experiment, which if he snags a Burn at the Stake and a Goblin Rally at the same time, end up being very, very good. So he might be trying to combo here. Thatcher's Revolt nets him 3 1/1s with haste. They're going away at the end of the turn. I think he's going to cast Infernal Plunge here. Infernal Plunge, sacking a Thatcher. So now he has three red mana floating. Looks like he has a Battle Hymn in his hand. Battle Hymn. So now he has 5 mana floating. He does have a Past in Flames, so he can flash that back, then chain his Infernal Plunge again. Not sure he needed to go off this turn, but should be fun to watch. So he's going to Infernal Plunge again, sacking the other Thatcher's token. Got 3 mana floating. Battle Hymn will give him 4 mana. I'm not sure. He may have not thought this one through all the way. He's going to Wild Guess. So he's got 2 mana floating. Discard a Devil's Play. Draw 2 cards. A land and another Infernal Plunge. 2 mana floating. And he's fizzled. And he's going to cast another Krenko's Command and basically end up right where he started. And attack for 3. So not the most exciting of turns. Like I said, I'm not sure he had to go off there. But, I mean, if you're going to play the fun deck, if you're going to let the Facebook fans pick which deck you play, you're going to want to have some fun. So I'm not sure what it's Knight of Infamy, and I think an Aven Squire, both of which have Exalted. So 1, 2, 3. Going to get in and knock Maxx down to 14. So Maxx up against it a little bit here. He's got a lot of lands in his hand. Did not see what he drew. Another Krenko's Command. So the Burn at the Stake, if he ever draws, it's going to be very good. His Battle Hymns are going to be very good at this point. Netting him, at this point, every Battle Hymn is going to net him 4 mana. He can experiment for 5 next turn if he draws it. I have no idea what that card is, so if anyone in the chat wants to point out what that card is, feel free. He's going to get in with the Exalted Flyer. Knock Maxx down to 9. It's a Servant of Neferox, I guess? That's what the chat says. I'm assuming it's Exalted. I'm not familiar with that card. So we see another Goblin Rally? Is that what Maxx cast? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, it's not Servant of Neferox. That was the earlier card. So I've... Vampire Assassin, maybe? Dusk Mantle Prowler seems to be the final. Excuse me. That's the one. It's Haste, Exalted, 2/2 for 4. So O-ring a token, might as well, right? 9 to 9. So obviously everyone's going to get in here with something. The Flying Exalted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total damage. So Maxx dead on board. He's got to find some way to push through 9 damage here. He's got 8 goblins. There's a Battle Hymn for a lot. Please be Epic Experiment. Infernal Plunge for more. Oh, Devil's Play you for $1 billion. Devil's Play you for $1 billion. Still works. Still works. So there you have it, guys. Burn at the Stake combo, as selected by you, the viewers, for our first of what will hopefully be many Max Turner Needs a Deck features on our Facebook page. He wins this one 2 games to nothing and moves to 1-1. Very fun deck, as you can see. Very powerful interactions. One way or the other. I tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to take a quick break here, step outside and see if I can find you another feature match, since we still have a half hour left in the round. So I am going to mute the sound, but I'll leave the sound on, but I'll be back shortly. Alright guys, so I don't usually like to repeat the same decks, or same players in the same decks if I can avoid it, but walked outside, basically everyone was still involved in the game, there wasn't a great stopping point, but as I was walking around the room, a certain Zach Viglianco was piling every card out of his deck because he was comboing off on John Dunlap, so they're moving to game 2, so we're going to grab them again and see if we can get a door to nothingness activation on camera again, so... we will double up, but if you double up with the Primal Surge deck, I think that's fine. I don't mind doing that necessarily. So, while they settle down here, I want to remind everyone that if you have a chance and don't mind it and are on these various forms of social media, you could help us out. Alright. Yep, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. I apologize for the downtime, but I am here by myself, and I am currently making the announcement for our giveaway. So, like I said, we've got Zach Viglianco on the right. He's back playing Primal Surge again. And his opponent is John Dunlap, and I think John is playing this Brian Kibler's green-black aggro deck. I know he's a few cards short of that list exactly that Kibler put up a couple weeks ago, but he's got the bulk of it. So that's, use basically Rancors, Haste Creatures, Dreg Manglers, Lotleth Trolls, Deathrite Shaman, and then it has an interesting interaction with the Fight Bear and Predator Ooze. So it should be fun to watch. You know what else is fun? Winning free cards. So if you saw us at the beginning of each of our feature matches, we start our games with a delightful game of rock, paper, scissors featuring the cards shown there from the Unglued set. Don't roll dice. What is this? The Great Depression? Get with the times. Start your games like a boss with rock, paper, scissors. If you don't have your own play set, well, then you're in luck because we give away a play set every week. Just go to facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. As I say this right now, I click the post button, and the giveaway post is up. So you go to facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. Make sure to like our page while you're there. Look for the post. If you like it or comment on the post, that gives you 1 entry into the drawing. If you share the post, that gives you an additional 3 entries. So if you want to win your own play set of cards, head on over to Facebook. And you can start all of your games just like we do here on the stream. Are they worth a lot of money? Not necessarily. Are they worth a lot of sentimental value? Absolutely. You would be surprised at how many people are hold their breath on a weekly basis when I make that drawing to see who wins them. It's a very fun way to start your games. It's a great conversation starter. And you just have to promise me that if you do win some point and you start using them to start all of your games and someone asks you, hey, where'd you get those from? Steer them our way here at the stream. So, check us out on Facebook for that. We'll have some giveaways coming up here shortly at the end of this round. We're giving away, we didn't have a stream last week, but I still did the giveaways on Christmas. We'll give away, obviously, a play set of rock, paper, scissors cards. Also, a local regular here at the shop, Jeremy Bales, was kind enough to donate a Savannah Lions box topper card from Origins. It's basically an oversized Savannah Lions card, which is pretty cool. So we'll be doing a drawing for that as well. I tried to give away 2 play sets of rock, paper, scissors cards this week. I said if we got 50 entries, then I would do 2 play sets. And I kid you not, it stopped at 48. So just 1 play set this week. So Max will be in here later once he's get done. I think he's out there rocking some sweet trades. Can't fault a man for trying to get his trade on at FNM. But he'll be in and out throughout the night to talk about his awesome deck and also help me on commentary. So back to the match here. Turn 1 Deathrite Shaman. Turn 2 Strangleroot Geist is exactly what you want to John wants to see out of his Golgari aggro deck. And a Ludovic's test subject. I'm telling you guys, you can watch, right now I think there's some other pros streaming. I know it is Moto Cube time, and people are getting excited about those streams, but I guarantee you none of those streams are going to have Ludovic's test subject on it. So John plays a Lotleth Troll. Gets rid of his Fight Bear, gains 2 life. Not sure exactly why he's doing that on his turn, first of all, and then just in general, I kind of like to have that Fight Bear, I think. But either way, that's what he's chosen to do there. And the 0-3 test subject can block a Strangleroot all day. Axebane Guardian comes down, so Zach has a potential next turn if he plays a land to untap with 6 mana, which means he can cast Gilded Lotus, he can cast Deadeye Navigator, he can cast Niv Mizzet, depending upon his hand. Guildgate for John. A lot of noise from the crew out there. I see a Deadbridge Goliath in John's hand that he cannot cast. Short 1 mana because the Guildgate comes in tapped. Comment in the chat that they say they like his shirt, which I assume means John's shirt that has the skull on it, and not Zach's hooded sweatshirt, which has the name of the law firm that he works for on it. I'm just using my context clues there. So, Arbor Elf comes down, not really advancing the board state much. John gets in with the Lotleth Troll, which is a 3/1, since he did discard 1 creature to it earlier. So there's 6 mana now for Zach. Now it's just a matter of what goodies he has. I guess at this point he most wants a Gilded Lotus. Niv Mizzet would also be pretty good here. He's going to play another Gatecreeper Vine. Go fetch another land. The Gatecreeper Vine basically only costs 1 in this situation because of the Axebane Guardian. Just nets him another mana. So tapping for 3 there. Looks like he has an O-Ring in his hand. Might want to O-Ring the Troll. Nope, another Guardian. So assuming that Guardian lives to untap, Zach is going to have literally infinite mana. Or not literally. I'll abuse the term literally. And just passes the turn back. So, for those of you who are with us during round 1 or at the end of round 1, you know that if Zach casts Primal Surge, he just wins the game by interacting with Door to Nothingness. So, John's going to discard his Deadbridge Goliath to the Lotleth Troll. He's going to scavenge the Deadbridge Goliath onto Lotleth Troll, so making Lotleth Troll a 9/9 Trampler now. Seems pretty good. Yep. Just confirming that, in fact, it is exiled. That is the... both of the cards in his graveyard are exiled. I think they missed Trample, so I'll go point it out. If he doesn't adjust his life total, I'll make sure he knows that it has Trample. That's one thing about that troll. Nope, hold on. Zach, troll has Trample. Alright, so stream disaster averted. The Lotless Troll does in fact have Trample. It has a lot of abilities. One of them which is Trample, so we try to keep things as honest as we can. So he nets 7 off that damage, dropping him down to 8. Probably would not have blocked if he had known that ahead of time. But it's part of the game. So loading up 6 mana from Guardians, 8 mana, Stormtide Leviathan. Oh. So basically this is a sideboard card that Zach brings in against the aggro decks. For those of you unfamiliar with Stormtide Leviathan, it is an 8/8 that has Island Walk, turns all lands into islands, in addition to their basic land type, and only creatures with Island Walk can attack. I think Island Walk are flying. Stormtide Leviathan. The man just played Stormtide Leviathan with a Ludovic's test subject in play. You're not going to see this on Cedric Phillips' stream, folks. Yep, so John's playing off the top of his deck. He's already down a game. He had a pretty imposing board state, but now unless he can find some kind of removal spell, I'm trying to think what removal spells he has in his deck. I don't know if this deck plays Ultimate Price or not. But that Leviathan by itself is a 3-turn clock. And the Deathrite Shaman's really bad in this matchup because Zach doesn't have any instants or sorceries to target. He's going to O-ring that... O-ring the Deathrite Shaman anyway. I guess because that's one of the few ways that John can still interact with this board state. Going to attack in for 8. 20 minutes remaining in the round, so my clock's just slightly off. But Zach, again, this deck never ceases to amaze. And it is notable that he's doing this against one of the faster decks in the format. I mean, when you go turn 1 Shaman into turn 2 Deathrite into turn 3 Lotleth, seems pretty good. So John here is drawing to a removal spell. He has to come up with some way of removing the Stormtide Leviathan. Otherwise, he is dead in 2 turns. We see Zach cast Deadeye Navigator, which has a lot of interesting interactions with the rest of his deck, mainly Zealous Conscripts. He is playing the Zealous Conscripts, Deadeye Navigator, Gilded Lotus combo. Just going to pile in for 8, so John's got to draw an answer card, or the Primal Surge deck will win this matchup. It's getting hot in the Broom Closet for some reason. Yep. So Zach explaining he's bouncing the Gatecreeper Vine 4 times with his Deadeye Navigator and netting 4 lands. Helps him thin out the deck, helps him hit his land drops, not that that's an issue at this point. That card has to be a removal spell, or some way of getting rid of all of his lands, or John is going to lose. And that's it. So there's your... If I close the polls early, there's your play of the week, folks. Sideboarded one of Stormtide Leviathan against a deck that can't remove it. Seems to be a pretty good way of interacting with the almost entirely ground-based deck of John Dunlap. So Congratulations to Zach. He moves to 1-1. John Dunlap drops to 0-2, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you beat him on turn 4. Sometimes you get Stormtide Leviathan hardcast against you and lose. So I'll try to find another match, I guess, or I'll try to get somebody in here to talk about some Gatecrash spoilers. But before that, remember, if you want to start your games like a boss with a playset of rock, paper, scissors cards, then head on over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. Here's a secret. If you go to ZachSellsMagic.com, it will redirect you there. It's very simple from that point. You find a post I made just a few minutes ago. It is the most recent post on that page. Just like our page, and then like or comment the post I made. That'll get you 1 entry. If you share the post, you'll get additional 3 entries. That helps us out a lot. There's a lot of content on a daily basis on the Facebook page. I make sure that there's something up there of interest to everybody. I think stuff this week, there was a link to a gentleman's autographed beta set. There are some interesting deck lists that came from Moto, including a deck from the PTQ online that featured 4 slippery boggles, and then just general fun pictures, videos, and clips and whatnot. So head on over to Facebook, enter for your chance to win. Here at the end of this round, we'll draw for this previous week's winners for both the playset of rock, paper, scissors cards and the box topper Savannah Lions card that I mentioned earlier. So stick around here. I'm going to go see if I can find another feature match, or if not, nothing else, get somebody in here to talk about some spoiler cards. We're just going to talk about, you want to come in here and talk about some spoiler cards? Sure, I'd love to. Grab your stuff and we'll... Okay. Alright guys, my name is Zachary Evans. I went outside. We don't have a lot of people here tonight. Like I said, only 24 people because it is the holidays, so it doesn't look like we're going to get a third feature match out there, but I'm currently being joined by the aforementioned Primal Surge pilot, Zach Viglianco. So congratulations on that win. It's an early runner for potential for highlight of the week status. So congratulations in that regard.
But what about Steel Vraska kill Guru?
That was pretty good, but you lost that game so hard.
Yeah,
so
don't remind me.
More importantly, we're going to talk about some Gatecrash spoilers here. If you saw Zach's deck in action there, if you're interested in that, there will be a list. Well, we'll try to get you a list up on the Facebook page, and go back and watch archives either on Twitch or on our YouTube page. Probably on Sunday, I'll have the videos up. But he did play in round 1 as well. Not nearly as exciting in round 1, as you just a turn too slow in one game and just kind of died to Garrett. We found out Garrett Relentless is very good against the Defender deck.
Destroys my deck. I am going to have to figure out what to do about that. Probably lose hard.
Yes. So let's see how I can. I'm going to try and get some spoiler cards up here. First of all, let's give away some Magic cards. You want to, Zach?
Oh, that's my favorite thing in the world to do.
Well, I'm waiting for this.
Other than resolve Primal Surge.
Okay, here we go. Waiting for the sheet to line up. So on Christmas Day, we did not have a stream last week because of. At first, it was going to be because
family stuff.
Well, no. At first, it was going to be because I was going to be traveling to Michigan with my cousins-in-law. My wife had already up there, because that's where my wife is from for Christmas. But then I got sick as a dog and involved a trip to the emergency room. So that was not, trust me, I would have much rather been doing anything else than that was. So, but we still did giveaways on Christmas, so we hope you got a chance to get in there. So we're going to draw for 2 giveaways, the first of which is our normal set of rock, paper, scissors cards. People have asked in the past, if you are international, are you eligible? The answer, of course, is yes. I will send them. And then also, like I said, Jeremy Bales donated the oversized Savannah line. Let's get frame of reference. It is a big one. Box topper card. They used to do these with a lot of fun. You know, you buy a box, you get these cards in them, the oversized ones. It's a fun novelty. So someone will be winning that. So we'll do 2 giveaways. The first giveaway.
It's a life-size Savannah line.
Yeah, well, not quite life-size, but close. 48 participants in the drawing this week.
My parents never took me to the zoo, so I don't have perspective, right?
Yeah, you gotta go what, like 4? You gotta go Columbus to the nearest zoo, I guess. 2.5 hours.
Perhaps we could do that when we're going to the Star City Games.
We could, or we could do anything other than that. So, Zach, you can confirm for me. I have the list here in front of me. I'm going to generate the random number. This one's for the rock, paper, scissors.
Random.org generates 33.
Which is, it's you!
Woo! I did it! I did it! Gimme.
I'll give it to you in a second.
Man, that wasn't rigged.
Yeah, I wish I could show you this. So here's what happens. I used to write them out longhand on a little list. That took forever. So I started doing it on an Excel sheet.
For that.
Huh?
I said I'll pay you for that as agreed.
I want to take a picture of this just to confirm to everyone that this number 33 on this list is in fact. It doesn't matter because I'd have to take a picture of that too. So we'll do it.
It's rock paper scissors list. If there are people that actually, you know what?
People.
It is the internet. We should probably confirm this.
People care. Trust me, people care. All right.
Christmas came late to the Vigliancos right now.
All right, now let's generate the one for the box topper card, which is...
Random.org generates 3.
All the way to the top of the list. So early risers getting rewarded here. Matt Brown. Oh, Matt Brown is from England. Matthew Lemon Brown is his name. So congratulations to Matt. I'll be sending you the box topper card. Heck, I might send him rock, paper, scissors cards too. Who knows? Because I tried to give away 2 sets this week. I said if we get 50 entries, I give away 2 sets. 48. I even told people earlier today, hey, we're at 48. So just get like your mom to enter.
So you can't. If you say 50, you got to mean 50.
I know.
That way leads anarchy, Zach.
I know. Okay, so that's fair enough.
Madness.
So let's see.
The lawyer in me would be very disappointed if you pass down a law on high and then 48, we're almost there.
Well, we don't rule this stream with an iron fist. Let's find some. Let's start in the order. So obviously this week on the mothership, dailymtg.com, they were spoiling the first round of cards from Gatecrash, which is the follow-up to Return to Ravnica, the second in this block, and each of the cards featured the new mechanic. What was the first one? The Gruul one? Robo-Hulk?
Robo-Hulk,
all right.
Which is Blood Rush.
Yeah, so let's check this bad boy out. Let's put it right in there. So, Robo-Hulk costs 6, 4, and then both of the Gruul colors. Its power and toughness each equal to the number of lands you control. And then it features the new Blood Rush mechanic, which says, basically it's an alternate way to play the card. You discard it from your hand, pay an activation cost. And in this case, target attacking creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of lands you control.
Confirmed on Mero's blog that it's actually tied to the power toughness in an XY, so it's not always land you control. It's the power and toughness of the creatures.
So the Blood Rush...
It just happens to be that the Blood Rush on Robo-Hulk is a star, so it's lands, because that's where his power and toughness comes from. But according to Mark Rosewater's Tumblr...
So this is just a very poor choice to explain this.
Yes.
So what Zach is saying is that the Blood Rush effect... I should sit over here, I guess. So the Blood Rush effect, the mechanic, basically is always going to interact with the power and toughness of the creature. So basically you're discarding the creature, and it's basically wolf running the creature you're targeting. Obviously not giving it trample, but giving it a boost.
It's kind of, apparently it's like Channel from Kamigawa.
Yeah. If you're familiar with Channel,
I was not playing at the time.
Yeah, it's basically the exact same thing, except that it's not. It's the same thing in that you discard a card to pay, and you pay a channel cost, and then it does something differently, which is similar to the cost. It's just similar to the card, but just a different way of playing that card. So here's my thoughts on this card. It is not very good. I don't think this card is very good. I think it screams EDH. It's a commander card.
I mean, there's a little bit of land matters themes with Gruul, because if you've seen the spoiled Borgi,
Borgimos.
So I guess in draft there's going to be a land matters theme. It might be decent and limited, but definitely screams EDH if you're talking about constructed right now.
Yep. So there
could be some decent ones though at lower cost. I mean, uncounterable combat tricks. Imagine if you've got a 2 cost for 3/3 or something like that. 2 cost 2/2 that plays around counter magic. That seems pretty good.
And this is and we've had some discussions about the spoilers all week, and I become you've been involved in some of these discussions online. I become a grumpy old man during spoiler season because it really does drive me nuts. As I twittered about, I really hate hearing about like card evaluation from like the 1-2 drop bracket of my local FNM. Which is what happens. Everybody's like, oh, I think this card is really great. It's going to be awesome. Because people just get excited about new cards. So here's the thing. like obviously I don't think this card is. I don't think we'll ever see it play in standard.
No.
But
Except in one of my decks.
Yeah, but it's with all of these cards, with a lot of the other cards we're going to see later, especially the Dimir, which was spoiled early this morning. Its new ability is Cipher. We'll get to that later. The card that is printed with Mechanic is not necessarily representative of the mechanic itself.
Some low-cost rule guys that are giant growth variants, essentially, or optional giant growth variants that can't be countered, I mean, seem like they could be pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the curve. It's all about, like, is it costed effectively? Like, in this case, I think, like I said, and you have to remember, too, like, Commander is a format. The number one is probably, Standard is probably the most popular format. Commander is probably second.
Casual Constructor is actually probably the most popular.
Kitchen Table, yes, but as far as like sanctioned formats go,
this is not going to get played Kitchen Table.
But this is going to show up in EDH decks.
Oh, yeah,
if you have like a massive ramp deck, people are going to enjoy that, and it does have that. Any spell that gives you two modes of operation. You look at the charms that are currently played in Standard, and all of them are so good because they all have so many amazing abilities.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Actually, there's a cool list. Do you know who Guillaume Wafutapa is?
Yeah.
Okay, so he recently came unbanned. So he got ninth in the Moto. Yeah, he got ninth in the Moto PTQ. And of course, he's known for being, as a French player, he's known for being the best control player in the world. He always plays control, and whatever list he's playing, he's usually the best.
Blue-white, right? He's a blue-white guy.
Yeah, or he's just control. Yeah. He's Blue X. Yeah. So he was playing. He got ninth place on tiebreakers in the Moto PTQ. I actually posted a link to all of those decks on the Facebook page earlier in the week. But he's playing basically a 4-color control deck that plays 4 Izzet Charms. Because Izzet Charm is 4 abilities. It counters stuff against the combo decks, it kills stuff against the Jund decks and the aggro decks, and it loots. You know, I mean, how good is drawing cards? Yeah. So cards like this Blood Rush mechanic, which is going to be able to say, hey, you've got this card which, you know, like for example, this guy right here, if he's in your opening hand, like unless you're playing a rant deck, like you're never going to cast him.
What's his Blood Rush activation?
3. One green red.
See, actually, there might be some decent Blood Rush guys where they're unplayable themselves unless the absolute late game. But situations if they've got like 5 power, you know, one of those red little ball lightning type guys, they're coming in and they're blood rushing, and they could be pretty decent. So we have to see, obviously, some more cards. But.
Someone in the chat pointing out, forgive Hexar is pointing out that this card sucks and we're giving it way too much time. But what they forget is that we are killing time as well, as we still have over 5 minutes left in the round. Let's talk. Okay, so anyway, basically the end result, my opinion, because everyone cares obviously about my opinion.
Well,
a lot of sarcasm in that if you can detect it.
It goes quickly. Adam Vickers' opinion on cards, Zach Evans' opinion on cards, and everyone else's opinion on cards. I think that's
like Louis Scott Vargas. I think is kind of around me.
3, maybe 2B. I don't know.
2B. But anyway, so this card's cool. It's neat to see new mechanics, but I don't think this card will ever see the light of day.
Some channel fans from Kamigawa are just screaming of just happy that they get to their channel deck. It's going to be awesome.
All right, so I got a low tech. The next one was Boros, right?
Lightning Helix for the win!
Yes, so, oh no, wait, the first one was the Simic card. Well, we'll get to that one later. I forgot about the Simic card.
Okay, Magic players, round 3 pairings.
Round 3 pairings. We'll have to come and talk about Fire Main Avenger later with the new Boros Battalion is the new effect. We'll talk about that one after the fact. But more importantly, we're on to round 3 of tonight's FNM. Zach, for reference, you are playing at table 12 against Charles Ellington.
Okay, so we'll see if the march to the top 8 continues.
Sure, good. Best of luck to you. I'm going to head outside, see if I can find you guys another feature match. So stick around, we'll be back with round 3 of 5 from the Swiss rounds here before the cut to top 8 Friday night match.